Hey there, Bootzone here. This is an Afore inverter. It's a model HNS1000tl-1. I'm making this part of the video at the end. I've taken it apart today and had a look in it and had a go at replacing one of the IGBTs that had blown. Not this one, another one had exploded within. It had a fault inside. It was given a fault error 17, which has nothing to do with this, but when I took it apart, this component clearly had blown a leg off and was damaged. So I took another one similar to this out of another machine and put it in, but that didn't fix it. And I'm wondering if you can help me with fault 17 and fault 29 in the comments below. Stay tuned. So this is an Afore New Energy HNS1000tl-1. It's been giving me error codes, but I want to catch it on camera, so let's put on a bit of voltage. I've got a variac over here that runs into a DC converter. There it is, starting up. It takes about 20 seconds to get going. There it is, waiting 20. There's a big hum in the background from the isolation transformer in that grey box, and there's a washing machine over there washing. Total 355.7 kilowatt hours. That's very low, if that's what it is. So I'm putting in 212 volts DC. It should start, but it typically has the relays clicking and then goes pop. There's relays. And then it blew the fuse in the house last time. Fault 17. Let's leave it for a minute. Fault 17. Let it go around one more time. It was saying that was a thermal trip or a thermal sensor, which should be easy to find. So there it is again. You can hear the relays clicking. Those blue boxes just there on the right are the relays. Fault 17. It's just going to keep going on a loop, so I'll turn that off. It might give another fault, but it should be no daylight or something like that because I've turned down the voltage. See what happens. It's got no DC coming into it now. Yeah, it's just shutting off. Well, that's good. Okay, so fault 17. When I look up fault 17 for this inverter, it's telling me it's a external temperature issue. So I'll have to have a look for a temperature probe. I don't see one. There's a data cable there, I think, but we'll have a look for a temperature probe and we'll see if we can figure this one out. So I remove this board, and I then remove this board, and if you look underneath you can see a little bit of burning or smoking or whatnot. I found this fellow here on the board, NTC1 P3. Now it's surface mount stuff, which gets a bit small for me. My level is not quite so fine. I can deal with bigger components, but once you get this small, now granted capacitors on the board and all that, but I can see here this fellow, its leg is completely burnt off, so that just isn't going to work. Whatever this fellow was, this is QB2, cooked by the looks of things, and Jesus, it's even lost its nameplate. It's gone so bad. Let's have a look at its neighbor, see if I can see what that says. So this is K30H603 HBN 528, and I imagine the other one is the same. Let's just have a look at QB3 here. K30T60. Ah, God, these are awful complicated now. QA, Q2, let's see. 30H603, 30H603, so QA1, QA3, QA2, 30T60, so QB2, I don't know which is which at all. Okay, let's try and eyeball it up. It says G15, that's a date code or something up there, I think. think it's 30H603. So of course the issue that follows this then is, well, if that's damaged, it doesn't look like a temperature fault, but if that's damaged, what else is damaged nearby? So we've got a cluster of parts here that could equally be popped. But they don't look bad, I've got to say. So it might be worth seeing if I have one of those on another board. I've got a selection of boards, and see if it'll be solderable or not. So here's the offending one, broken, and here's a board from a Sonnenmacht that I've dismantled and taken most of it away. It's not as nice a board, I would say, but it has these IGBTs, they're transistors on the back, transistors and diodes. So if I take one of them off and just bung it on, like just have a go at it. I'll put a soldering iron on and do a bit of back and forth. Get in a bit closer here. Try pulling it off, but I'm going to get this last pin out. I don't know if you can see anything there, but I'm putting the soldering iron on one side, just pulling on the other. One of those scenarios where you might need a little bit of solder to get you going. To make the heat transfer, here we go, come on. Why are you stuck? What's going on here? This is just a plate, it's a plastic thing here, not too worried about that. There we go, that's it up. Right. Get the rest of that sauce out of there. Almost. Come on. I don't seem to be able to get that clean off there. A load on the back. Lobbing through side to side. Right, we're clear. Okay, soldering iron. Let's get another one off the other side then. So that's the bust one. They all seem to be different on this board. 40N65, 47, N60, NH. I'm hoping they're all the same pinouts. I think they will be. Let's just try and push the new one down into position. And that fits, so let's get some solder on there. I'm sure I found this solder in a dustbin, so hopefully it makes a good bond. We'll turn it over and see on the other side as well. Yeah, just that last one, it's not looking great. That ought to do it. Right, soldering iron off, and a bit of alcohol to clean it up. So I put some fresh thermal paste on the back. I've put the board back in. It looks crap, but it's better than not doing it. I'll put all my screws back in and we'll try it again. You should be able to see it now. Let's bring it up to 160, 180 volts. Beep. All lights on, new energy, 20 seconds, 0 watts. We might see smoke out of it if that was the wrong thing to do as well. I brought it down a bit to about 150 volts there. Oh, it says 188, bring it down a bit more. Okay. Sounds like we're going live. 2, 1. Click, click. Don't hear anything yet. Grid frequency. Fault 17 again, so it's still saying temperature, but that's a bit of a shame. Wasted a bit of time on that. Right, well, we'll wrap that up. If you know what's going on, the only thing I could see, I don't know if I pointed this out to you. I'll try and get in here. There's a connection in there behind this blue fellow, NTC1P3. Looks like a resistor, and there's the connector there with nothing on it. That's blown the fuse, and we're getting fault 29. Better look that one up too. Fault 29 as well, so that's another one. But that's blown the fuse for the AC. So plug it all out. It's really just running on its own capacitors there, I'm imagining. Yeah, and that's it. Whistling down. So quite bizarre. The fault codes only go up to 26 on the manual for this device. There's the numbers again. You can validate that if you want, if you're interested in solving this problem with me. I'll put the cover back on and just leave it to one side. I don't see that. I'm not gonna try and... I don't think I've blown the same part again. I got the same errors, so I don't think it was even getting to the point where it could check that. NTC, but it was a temperature error. That's what was coming up on it. So I really don't know. If you know, tell me about it in the comments below. I've given it a go and I'd like it to work, but equally it's got a bit of aluminium in the back. I could just scrap it out, and it's got those little toroids there, which will probably go as small motors if I scrap them. Questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching. See you later.